Perfect. Okay, let's make a 180 and head north again. We're a little low to go much farther south.
Okay.
We want to get a little more altitude. You need a little more rudder to initiate your turns.
Okay.
There's a lot of adverse yaw with these long wings, so you got to start and end the turns with a pretty good amount of rudder. In the turn, you only need a little rudder, but to initiate and to roll out, it takes a lot of rudder because of adverse yaw. We can see Adams, Rainier, and St. Helens over there.
Okay, cool. I've never seen Rainier from this part of the gorge or anywhere for that matter.
Yeah, you got to get a little high first.
Sure.
St. Helens is 1,300 feet shorter now than it used to be, so we can't see it quite as well from a lot of places.
Yep.
There's a good section of lift.
It really is an amazing thing to be doing this without a motor. I still am blown away.
Isn't that cool?
Oh man.
It's too bad the other glider landed. We could have had fun flying together, but there's another guy going to come up. If he gets out here soon enough, we'll have another glider to play with too.
Okay. It's gonna be some, at those houses on the ridge, it's gotta be a windy place to live.
Yeah, and in the wintertime, it's very hard to get in there. When it snows and stuff, it really can be a problem. Ah, there's another glider taking off. Okay.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay. So that instrument in the center left, that's a variometer, right?
That's a variometer.
Okay, and that's also in knots?
It's actually in 100 feet per minute.
Oh, okay.
Which is almost the same as knots.
Okay.
200 feet per minute is about 2 knots.
Okay. $200 feet per minute, that was about the climb rate in the old 150 I used to fly in.
Yeah. I've climbed at over 2,000 feet a minute.
Wow.
In the glider.
And I saw one of your videos and you had mentioned it that because you're not accelerating the whole time, you don't really necessarily feel the pull of the G-forces, but you're ascending so quickly, it seems like it'd be like a rocket ship.
The ground just drops away, you know, it's really cool.
Yep. Okay, now I can see them. They're starting to roll.
Yep, there they are. Let's go ahead and just continue across this little gap to this next piece of ridge, and we'll fly out kind of towards the river a little bit.
Sure. The rudder, it feels pretty firm at this point, even 50 miles an hour, it feels pretty firm.
Yeah, it's so big, you know.
Okay. A lot of surface area. Gotcha.
Now we're getting back a little bit far. We need to move out in front of the ridge just a little bit. Where you are on the ridge makes a big difference in your climb rate.
Okay.
And you know, sometimes the lift is way up high and sometimes it's out a ways, you know, and you know, it's different on different days. You kind of have to try it out, you know,
Sure.
and I don't quite have an explanation for why that is, but it's not always the same.
Okay.
Now, when we're sinking, if we're not climbing, we want to speed up to 55 or 60. When this goes down to 2 or 4, we want to speed up. We don't want to chase the needle, but when you feel yourself starting to kind of drop, you can just lower the nose with it and let yourself speed up.
Okay.
The best, the minimum sink speed is like between 45 and 50, and the best L over D speed is about 10 miles an hour faster, between 55 and 60.
Okay.
And that's the speed at which you cover the most ground.
Sure. You're commuting back to the airport.
And then you also add half of the wind speed when you're flying into the wind, plus about 10 miles an hour for every notch on the variometer that you hit sync.
Okay. That's a lot of things to calculate there.
Basically, when this starts going down, you want to be hauling ass.
Okay.
You know, if it's going down at 6 knots or whatever, you want to be 75 or 80 miles an hour.
Oh, wow. Okay. So kind of like now we're going down at 2 knots.
Yeah, we could speed up a little.
Speed up a little bit.
It's kind of fluctuating between 0 and 2 down.
Okay.
And as long as it's at 0, we want to be at minimum sync.
Okay.
0 or above.
Now we're getting a little bit of lift here. Or it might be me just bouncing around.
No, that's actually compensated out.
Okay.
Your speed change, yeah.
Oh, okay.
As much as you can.
And this lift here, is this from the river hitting the ridge by the highway there?
Probably.
Okay.
You know, it might be some little bit of wave coming off of something upstream or something.
Okay.
You know, a lot of times you never know.
Okay.
Okay, let's head south again.
Okay.
You always want to look and turn. Oh, look at that. Way too little rudder. You have to really move the rudder pedals. In a power plane, all you're talking about is pressure. In the glider, you actually have to move the pedals because we're flying so much slower.
Okay.
And now we're flying downwind, and so when you're flying downwind, you always fly at the minimum sink speed, even if you're in sync, because the wind is carrying you, and your best angle is going to be the slowest rate you're coming down.
Okay.
Now, if we were going down at 10 knots, I would have a hard time not speeding up. So.
Sure. Now, when it's kind of tossing the yaw string around like that, should I compensate just with rudder and just try to keep the length level? But
yeah.
Okay.
You want to keep every time that goes off to the side, the whole side of the airplane, you know, we're moving sideways through the air, so you're creating extra drag.
Sure.
Let me take the stick for a while.
Yeah,
I'll kind of show you a little bit.
Okay.
You know, and because I've been flying so long, I don't move anything very much.
Sure.
But you just want to keep it as straight as you can. And
okay. The pedals are moving maybe a half an inch or a
when I do it, you know, you'll probably need a little more because
yeah, I get it.
You're not quite as sensitive to what's happening. But but basically, you know, if you keep your wings level, you know, it's much easier. You know, the turbulence is trying to rock your wings and stuff, and if you let a wing come up and then try to bring it down, it's different than if you just keep it, you know, keep it level.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you got it.
Okay.
Now there is another glider up here someplace. L33, this is 22 Tango. What's your location and altitude? So you're not on the ridge? Okay, let me have the controls now. And